weekend of the show. It seemed like, well, that went fast. 1 week went like too fast. So welcome back to the Commercial Real Estate Hour, your hometown station, 98.1 FM, AM 1220. I am your host, Jesus Henao, and we're back for more real estate. What's happening in our town? What's going on? So today I'm going to talk a little bit about real estate investments and what's happening in our area, and we're just going to dive into just one simple section of the market, and that is office buildings. And there's different investment types, and I'll touch on these right now, what they are. One is office buildings, shopping centers, industrial property, multifamily, and triple net investments. So when you say real estate, people, I have Kyle Jennings with me in office today. How are you?
Doing well.
Good. And, when people talk about real estate property or investment property, they usually think of their home as an investment. But there's other product types. And like I said, office buildings, shopping centers, industrial. We're going to talk a little bit about some significant buildings that sold within the last year in Santa Clarita in the office market. But before we get into that, I want to talk a little bit about just some numbers about property. Whether you invest in office buildings, shopping centers, or industrial or multifamily, the main reason people buy these is simply for the cash-on-cash return and in something else that's called depreciation. And this is why people buy real estate. Obviously, they buy for the cash flow, but they buy for the depreciation. Now, Kyle, have you ever heard of that, what that is?
It sounds like, well, yes, I've heard of it, but I would assume depreciate means costs less or price goes down.
Exactly.
I assume.
Exactly, over time. So depreciation has two classes. One is for commercial buildings. So let's say office buildings, shopping centers, industrial, and triple net properties. Triple net is when you're driving down the street and you see an El Pollo Loco or a Carl's Jr. or a Starbucks. That's a triple net property.
Okay.
What that means is you as the owner of the building don't pay any taxes, don't pay any of the lights, don't pay any of the maintenance of the property. The tenant in the building pays everything. All you do is once a month you receive your rental check and you deposit it into the bank account. Okay? So those commercial properties, they depreciate differently than a multifamily. So, and depending on what your business is, you have two structures here. You can either stay in the commercial side or the multifamily. On the commercial side, you can depreciate the property over 39 years. So, simple math. I'll grab my calculator here just to give you a small example. If I bought a building for $10 million, okay, purchased the building, $10 million, I put a loan on it. The value of the building is not only, the value of the building includes the building itself and the land. The land does not depreciate because dirt is dirt, right?
Yeah.
That's not going anywhere. But, the building has wear and tear, the elements of the climate and deterioration, rainfall, et cetera, people driving on the property, the parking lot area, you have to resurface it, et cetera. Well, the IRS says for a commercial property, you can depreciate the building in 39 years. So let's go back to the value, $10 million. And let's say of that $10 million, $2 million is land. So I can't depreciate land, so I have to knock that off. So I have $8 million left over. I take that $8 million and I depreciate it. So every year I'm losing money. So in 39 years, the government says my building is worth $0.
Wow.
Because I've depreciated.
Okay.
So I take $8 million and I divide it by 39. That means I get to write off $205,000 a year. So now let's say that I'm leasing this building out. Let's say the Starbucks on the corner over there on New Hall Ranch Road.
Okay.
Let's say hypothetically I bought it for $10 million, but I can depreciate $8 million. So every year I'm losing $205,000 for 39 years. But let's say the rent Starbucks is paying, the rent Starbucks is paying is $180,000. That's at the end of the year, I'm collecting $180,000 from Starbucks. Guess what happens with that money? Do I pay tax on it? What do you think, Al?
I would think so, yes. but I don't know. That's why I'm asking. That's why you're here.
That's right. Well, on that income, I would pay 0 taxes on the income.
Pretty good, right?
So
it's a
I-
good amount of taxes.
So
to
I
have to pay.
take that $180,000, I put it in my pocket, and we all go to Disneyland.
And then we go buy something nice.
We go to Disneyland. We take the trip to wherever you want to go. Well, that's how it works. Now, there's some more things you can write off. Like, if you put a loan on it, which most people would, you would write off the interest payments. So at the end of the day, if you're a real estate professional and you're investing in real estate, you're not going to pay any taxes on your income. So you have $180,000 free, and you have another $20,000 left over, or about $25,000 left over that you have a loss still, and you can write that off your other income. So isn't that a good deal?
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
I just need an extra $2 million.
That's right.
Yeah,
Well, we're going to get it for you.
Oh, nice. All right. Sounds good. Perfect.
So that's how depreciation works. That's why people invest in real estate. Now, the other side, multifamily, which is the other product type, is a little bit different. Instead of depreciating it over 39 years, you get to depreciate it in 27 and a half years. So I can take a larger sum of money and depreciate it faster. So I have more depreciation. So if I take that same $8 million and I depreciate it over 27 and a half years, I'm writing now $290,000 off the income for the property.
So that's the amount of money that you can write off every year. And
For 27 and a half years.
for 27 and a half years. After the 27 and a half years, you can't do that anymore.
No more.
Because it's worth nothing.
It's worth nothing.
Okay, gotcha.
In the eyes of the IRS. But we all know that
Yeah.
real estate goes up in value, or it might tank. It depends. But that's why you buy real estate, to protect the cash flow that you make. Does that make sense? to you?
Yeah, gotcha.
Okay,
Gotcha.
perfect. So now let's talk a little bit. That's the depreciation scenario, and it's a little more deeper than that, but I just covered the just the tip of the iceberg. So another thing, let's talk about, and because I'm going to talk about when I start talking we start looking at the office buildings, we're going to discuss a thing called the cap rate. Okay, and you'll hear people on the street, they'll talk about, I'll only buy at a 7 cap, or only buy a 6 cap. Well, what does that mean? Well, a cap stands for capitalization rate. And the easiest way I can explain this is this way. Let's say, again, Kyle, you have $5 million. Okay?
All right, I'll see you later.
You got
I'm
$5 million.
I'm gonna go back to bed.
It'll go fast. It'll go fast.
Yeah, well, 5 kids. Yeah,
Okay.
I'll do that. Yeah.
You take that $5 million, you put it in the bank. What will Bank of America, Citibank, Wells Fargo, what do you think, what type of interest would they give you on that money?
It's probably like 0.02 or something crazy like that. Something
Yeah.
really, really, really low.
Almost nothing, right?
Yeah.
0. So why would you keep your money there?
It's a good question.
Yeah. So you'd want to pull it out and invest it in commercial real estate. So here's what happens. The easiest way to describe cap rate is this. If I took my $5 million and I put it into a property, what type of cash on cash return would I get? Or what would be my return on investment? Or another way to look at it is if I took the $5 million, I bought it all cash a building, would be my interest on that money? And that's the cap rate.
Okay, gotcha.
So if I bought it all cash, a 6 cap means I'm going to make 6% on my money
Okay,
if I bought it all cash.
okay.
And we know the bank is paying like point nothing.
Yeah,
Is
yeah,
probably
yeah.
accurate.
0.00 something, something,
Yeah,
something.
for you giving your money to them.
Yeah,
So that's what a cap rate is. So people buy on cap rate. So when they look at a building, they look at a couple indicators. One is cap rate, a price per square foot, and a cash on cash return. Okay, so those are the 3 indicators.
What's the risk there? So if I buy this building for $5 million, it's obviously every investment, there's a risk in it, right?
Yeah.
And what's the risk there if I decide to do that? What does the cap rate change, or could I just
Well,
could it crash or something like
Very good question. Well, it depends on what type of owner you are.
that? Okay,
If you're a slumlord, guess what happens?
probably.
People start leaving. You know what? I don't want to be in this space anymore. The owner doesn't take care of the parking. He doesn't pay for the lights. There's graffiti on the side of the building. Well, people are going to leave, right?
Yeah.
So the money that you're receiving starts to go down because people are leaving. Your cash flow is leaving. So it depends on what type of owner you are. If you run a tight operation, you keep up with the maintenance, you keep the tenants happy, they keep you happy by paying your rent, then you'll be fine. Obviously, there's a downturn in the economy where businesses might leave because the economy is bad, and that happens. There's some still big boxes open here in the valley that nobody's leasing from them, and that's a risk.
Yeah,
it is.
And that's a risk for any investment, really.
Any investment.
Not necessarily just solely commercial real estate investing.
That's right. But the way you look at it is what killed a lot of people in the last turn in 2008 was it was leveraging. And what does leverage mean? Leverage is basically if I want to buy that $10 million property and I'm required to put 30% down, that's $3 million, right? Right?
Yeah.
So I take my $3 million and the bank is going to take the 70% loan. So they're carrying the majority part of the building. Okay, what it was happening back then was there was free money almost out there. So instead of being safe and saying, okay, I'm going to put 30% down, 40% down, because if something happens, I'm still able to make the mortgage payment because people leave, but I have a cushion to do it.
Yeah.
Why people got hurt in the last turn was they over leveraged. They came in with 5% down, 10% down.
And banks were just giving loans to everybody.
They were giving loans to everybody.
Yeah.
So what happened is people started leaving. Business started, you had a lot of vacancies. Couldn't make the mortgage payment. They defaulted on the loan. And it just didn't happen to one person. It happened to many people. Yeah. So everything started imploding. And the same thing happened in the housing market because the homes were overinflated in the price. And the banks were qualifying everybody. You're perfect. You got a job. Stated income was a thing there. Show me your money and what you make, and you got a house. And the prices were high, and that's what happened. People couldn't make the mortgage payment, so it imploded. So let's go on to so we talked about depreciation. Okay, let's go on to a couple of deals that have happened in the last year. I don't know if you're aware of them.
No, please, tell me.
So we're just going to look at the state of the market in Santa Clarita, and I can tell you the market is very, very good. Yeah. There's about 5 buildings. There's a lot more buildings. I just want to cover top 4 or 5 of them so you guys can so everybody can get a feel of what's going on. So an office building that's sold. It's about 154,000 square feet over by Turney Road and Valencia, next to College of the Canyons. 2 office buildings, and you probably see it from the 5 freeway, the New Hall Land sign on the building and the KB Home sign. That building just sold last year, actually this year it sold February 15. So just recently this year, it sold for, well, I'll take a guess. What do you think those buildings are worth? I always like to ask
Turney Road
people.
in Valencia?
Yeah, right off the freeway. You can see the building freeway. I like asking this question just to get a perspective of people that are not in the business, what they think something like that would go for.
It's 2 office buildings, right?
2 office buildings, 154,000 square feet.
That's a lot of square footage.
It's big.
I'm gonna say
it's bigger than my house.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I'm going to say $3.7 million.
Close.
Was I really?
Yeah. $33,100,000.
Okay. All right. So.
Good price.
Okay.
Now let's talk.
Is that a good price? I have no idea.
Well, remember, somebody might think, wow, it's a big number. But what do we talk about? If I have $33 million and I put it in the bank, I'm going to get nothing.
Yeah.
0%, almost nothing. But this building, now I'm going to test your knowledge now, the cap rate, it was a 6% cap.
Okay, so you're getting 6% back on that.
That's right.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Which is like a very good investment.
A very good return on your money. Now here's the next part of it. This is why this buyer, Harbor Associates of Long Beach and Goldman Sachs Asset Managers. So it was a teamed up purchase here. The building was only 81% leased.
Okay.
So you have I have a lot of vacancy here, right? Would you think? You think 81% leased is not 100, so
yeah.
So let's say, Kyle, you own the building. You go in there, you roll up your sleeves, and we're gonna make deals. We're gonna advertise. We're gonna advertise on KHTS radio.
Yeah.
We're gonna get some tenants in here. What happens to once I start leasing that up and I start nearing 90% occupancy? What happens to that 6% cap? Will it go up or will it go down?
Probably go down, right? No, it'll go up.
That's right.
Yeah, it'll go up
because you're putting people in the building.
Supply and demand, right?
Yeah. Well, no, not really supply and demand. Just simple, basic math.
Okay.
If I have 81% people paying rent, and now I have 90% people paying rent, is my money going up?
Yeah, it's
Absolutely.
probably going to go up. Yeah.
Yeah, because I got more people moving in.
Yeah.
So that's the good news about the building. They paid a fair market rate cap, 6%, and they could do better management, lease it up, hire Leola Commercial to do some leasing for them.
There you go.
And we'll get that thing to 100%. And a price per square foot. And I'm, on this particular building, I'll go over the other ones a little bit faster. I just want to go over every indicator so you have an idea. It sold for $214 a square foot. And again, we talked about cap rate and price per square foot. That's in line to what's going on. The building was built in 2005.
Is the commercial price per square foot different than the like the home market?
Absolutely.
Is it a better investment in commercial, or are you getting less money per square foot in a house?
I'm glad you asked that. What is an asset and what is a liability? What do you think that is?
Well, liability is something. I have several liabilities. There might be one sitting next to me. Who knows what he's into? Liability is something you have to worry about, I assume, and then assets are things you can make money with.
Right out of Rich Dad Poor Dad, the book, I'll give it to you very simple. An asset is something that puts money in your pocket, and a liability is something that takes money out of your pocket. So I have here.
Are my kids a liability? Is that what that means?
They are. You better believe it. My kids are a big liability. So think of it this way. So an office building every month is putting money in my pocket. A house, does it put money in your pocket or does it take money out of your pocket?
It probably depends on how you invest in it, but for the most part, it's probably taking money
Average
out of
guy
your
out there.
Yeah, it's taking out of. Yeah.
So every month I got to pay that mortgage payment, and it's taking money out of my pocket. So I have another job that enables me to pay for the house. So it's a liability because it's taking money out of my pocket. But the office building, every month I'm collecting rent.
Gotcha.
And I'm paying the mortgage, and it's putting money in my pocket.
Gotcha.
So in that case, when you look at it, a house is a liability. But to answer your question on price per square foot, in Santa Clarita, the price per square foot, depending on what area you live, is high. So to compare to this sold for $214 a square foot. Homes in, just say, and over in Tesoro Valley is probably $280, $290 a square foot. So a lot higher.
Okay.
But
Gotcha.
a home is really not an asset.
Yeah.
Okay. So other building that sold, a couple of the buildings that sold, there's the Valencia Atrium. This is over there on Newhall Ranch Road off the 126 at the very top there. So when you miss Magic Mountain Parkway, you have that long drive to the 126 to get off. So up there in that corner, this building sold for $10.8 million. You have a lot of law firms and mortgage companies in the property. Now let's look at this one. It sold for $179 a square foot and a 4.68 cap. So a lot lower. The return is not high. Building was built in 2002. It sold last year, 2017. Now, the interesting thing about this sale is it was a 1031 exchange, and the owners were what's called a TIC. And a TIC means tenant in common. So what that means is if I got everybody in the office here, we all pooled our money together, and we bought this office building.
Oh.
We all own equal amount shares of the building. But I cannot sell it until everybody agrees to sell it.
Oh.
So interesting way. It was popular in about 15 years ago. So this owners got together and said, hey, we want to sell, get our money out. And they sold it to what's called a 1031 buyer. And that 1031 buyer, he sold something and he needed to buy something because if he didn't, he would be hit with taxes. And that's a whole different conversation on why. Remember that depreciation that I was talking about? There's a thing called recapture. So you got to put that back into the equation when you sell the building, if you take the money out. So he bought it, and a 1031 buyer usually pays a higher price for a property. So that's what we have here. He paid a higher price, 4.6 cap, which is a lower return, but it's only 75% leased. And over time, what's going to happen? He's going to be able to lease it out, affect the management, raise the cash flow, and he's going to make more cash on it. So he paid a higher price, but he knows that there's room for rent growth there. And eventually, if he decides to sell it, that rent is what really affects the value of the property. Not necessarily like a house. I like the bathroom. I like the pool. This is all about numbers.
Gotcha.
Okay? I'm going to go down to one smaller building because we've talked about the bigger ones, but let me give you a small, because there's small deals that happen. Over on Henoa in Canyon Country, a medical office building. It sold for $3,250,000. Now look at the cap on this thing. This closed this April 2018. It was 19,000 square feet, so a smaller building. Now look at this, $167 a square foot, and the cap was 2.9%. Very low. And this was 100% leased.
Oh.
So is this still a good deal, or what do you think? At a 2.9 cap.
I don't know. It doesn't sound like it.
Doesn't sound like
Doesn't
it.
seem like there's much room for growth with 100%.
What's the alternative? Money in the
bank. Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Money
so
in the
yeah,
bank.
It's a good day. Gotcha. Okay. Gotcha.
Got it. And does he get to keep all his money through depreciation?
Yes.
Most of it, because he's going to depreciate it 39 years.
Yeah.
And again, that's if I can point anything out, people buy real estate to protect their cash, and that's why I do it, and that's why we're here to teach people about that.
Nice.
All right. It looks like we are up on our break, and we're going to go to break. And this is the Commercial Real Estate Hour with Jesus Henao, Leola Commercial, in your hometown station, 98.1 FM, AM 1220.
Healthcare can be difficult if you're underinsured or have Medi-Cal. Samuel Dixon Family Health Center can help. Services are available on a sliding fee schedule. The mission of the Samuel Dixon Family Health Center is to give the Santa Clarita Valley access to affordable, quality primary care. There are 3 locations to serve you: Canyon Country, Newhall, and Valverde. Go to sdfhc.org for more information and to find the location most convenient for you.
Do you like to rock across Africa?
Then the wait is over.
Africa Rocks! Africa's Greatest Hits is now available at the San Diego Zoo! And who could forget 99 red baboons?
Or the African crested porcupine smash hit, I Got Quills to Pay the Bills! Hey, don't get too close.
And the hits keep on coming!
Africa Rocks has all your favorites from 6 different African habitats.
Hungry like a leopard.
Ibex is back.
Harder, better, fossa stronger.
And a new track from Kendrick Lamar.
Now, Larry.
Yes, Chuck?
A collection of this magnitude, I'd fly to Africa.
Well, don't pack your bags, friend. Africa Rocks is only available right here at the San Diego Zoo.
Wow, that really does rock.
No, it Africa Rocks.
Welcome to Africa Rocks. Experience 6 different African habitats, including our first ever aquatic enclosure with African penguins. Only at the San Diego Zoo.
Hey, Kyle, what are you doing Saturday, June 30th?
Not sure.
Nowhere bound, huh?
What?
Come on, Bubba Hyde. Get it together. You're a beautiful mess.
Oh, I see what you're doing. Diamond Rio songs. You're unbelievable.
Why, thank you, Kyle. I just want to let our listeners know that we'll be hosting the Big Diamond Rio show with special guest Savannah Burrows at the PAC at COC.
Imagine that.
Look at you getting it now.
One more day.
No, dude, it's June 30th.
Be my wingman.
Oh, now you're quoting Savannah Burrows songs.
Yep.
Sweet.
Join Tori and me when we host Diamond Rio with special guest SCV's own Savannah Burrows. Saturday, June 30th, 7 p.m. at COC's PAC.
Tickets are on sale now. Go to canyonspac.com
or hometownstation.com. Aloha, friends. Go check out Honu Coffee, home of the best cold brew coffee. What makes their coffee special is how their organic coffee beans are infused with nitrogen to create a smooth and delicious cup of coffee. You'll also find traditional bold coffees and island-inspired signature drinks. They're the perfect place to catch up with friends or just relax with your favorite cup of joe. Honu Coffee on Lyons and Walnut in Newhall. Stop by and say aloha.
Your hometown station.
It's no secret that KHTS has the best midday talk show lineup around. If you've missed any of your favorites, no problem. KHTS has you covered. Podcasts for all the midday shows can be found right on our website, hometownstation.com. Whether you missed a show from 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 months, or 2 years ago, and you want to catch up, we got you covered. They're all right there. Plus extra podcasts too. That's hometownstation.com. Hometownstation.com.
98.1 FM and AM 1220.
If you are at least 55 years of age and have a torn or irreparable rotator cuff, you may be eligible for a no-cost clinical trial at Southern California's Orthopedic Institute's Valencia Clinic. Call 818-901-6600 extension 1525 or visit rotatorcuffstudy.com to learn about a study of an investigational shoulder implant. Call 818-901-6600 extension 1525 or visit rotatorcuffstudy.com. Sponsored by Microair Surgical Instruments.
Santa Clarita's hometown station. Hometown station.
KHTS AM 1220 and the new 98.1 FM.
Welcome back. This is the Commercial Real Estate Hour on your hometown station, 98.1 FM, AM 1220. This is your host, Jesus Henao, and I have on the line with us, live from ICSC, the International Council of Shopping Centers, RECon conference over in Las Vegas, Mr. Jim Medina, VP of Major Accounts of Fidelity National Title. How's it going, Jim?
Good. Hi, Jesus. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it. It's rocking over here in Vegas. Just got back from the show. Too busy to get on a call with you. It would be way too much noise over there. But it's very interesting to see the changes in retail and how it's affecting our economy. But it seems there's no slowing up, but it's coming around.
Great. Just a little bit about Jim. I've been working with him for about 15 years. Amazing title guy. Highly recommend him. He's been in the business, like I said, 30 years. He's a USC grad, which just in that in itself is a thumbs up on his business. One of his outstanding deals that he was part of, his signature deals, was he was part of the Dodger Stadium deal back in 2005. He does a lot of numerous ground-up development title deals, and I've done about $50 million worth of transactions with Jim, so highly qualified. Let me ask you, Jim, what exhibitors are you seeing out there in the conference?
Well, everything seems to be humming along. You got your big commercial brokerages, CBRE, JLL, Marcus & Millichap. Everybody's just trying to find the spots that have the voids in the shopping centers. The brokers are looking for more people to do business with. The vendors, such as the In-N-Out Burgers, you got the fast food chains, you got the retail chains. The platform is changing, though. With the .com and the Amazon, brick and mortar is getting smaller, but I think everybody is taking a closer look at the clientele out there, and everyone's trying to adjust as we move along.
Great. Just a little bit about ICSC for our listeners. Again, this is Jesus Henao with the Commercial Real Estate Hour here at the hometown station. I have Jim Medina, VP of Major Accounts, Fidelity National Title, on the line. It's something about ICSC. What that is it's founded back in 1957 in Chicago. Right now has over 70,000 members in over 100 different countries. And this particular show going on in Las Vegas at the convention center there has about 37,000 industry professionals and about 1,200 exhibitors. Yesterday they had, as a guest speaker, Michael Strahan, Super Bowl champion and Pro Football Hall of Famer. Today you have Damon John, CEO and co-founder of FUBU and star of Shark Tank. And finally on Wednesday they're wrapping up with Jennifer Fleiss, co-founder of Code 8 and Rent the Runway. So just a little bit about the conference, and everybody's here that wants to lease, that's looking to fill their void. As we talked earlier about leasing up space, Kyle, this is great. This is where people go to make deals, talk to the In-N-Outs, talk to the Pollo Locos, talk to the Domino's, and structure deals there, face-to-face meetings. So what do you like about ICSC, Jim?
I like the interaction with all the different vendors. I've been known for connecting the dots here. So I'll have a developer who will say, hey, Jim, I got a couple more spots coming new. I'm looking for a couple different retailers and maybe a fast food and El Pollo Loco. Who do you know I can talk to? So instead of reinventing the wheel, I'm trying to get them directly connected to somebody within some of those retailers, the El Pollo Locos, the Starbucks, the Western Bagels. everybody who, and then they talk and they see if it's a fit. Developers are being very specific now on who they want to put in their voids, because over the years there's just been too much turnaround with the .com and how it's coming around. So that's it. There's a lot of different moving parts still going on. I see some investors out here too who are still interested in the dipping into retail here. Maybe they did multifamily for one point, and now they're looking to diverse or triple net, a Starbucks or a sporting goods store out in the middle of the Midwest, single tenant, and triple net. That way you don't have to worry about 5 different tenants collecting monies from, and they're usually pretty good deals. You're looking at about 5-6 cap rates.
Hey, we talked about that. It's funny, Jim. We were just talking about cap rates in the earlier segment.
These are all buzzwords. This is everything you just spoke about. Jim's talking about.
I got Kyle Jennings in here in the studio with me, and I just gave him a little education on commercial real estate. And we sometimes take that for granted. We hear a cap rate, we hear price per square foot, we hear triple net. What does that mean to the average guy out there? So I just went over that. So it's funny that you mentioned those words, and it's exactly
good.
it.
I'm glad you did, because I just, when I'm saying that, I was wondering. I hope that the audience knows a little bit, but this is a learning experience too for everybody out there with this.
Absolutely. So what do you see as far as where's the action happening? Are people still bullish in the LA market, or are you see people going to maybe a Las Vegas, Arizona? What's the pulse out there? I know there's people from everywhere, but where do you see that people want to make deals? Are they staying in LA? Are they moving out? What's your feel over there?
They're staying in LA a lot. They're staying in their given communities that they're used to working with, but I do see other growing communities that people want to venture out and make deals or put in a small shopping center to see the growth. They see, let's say, there's other factors involved. Maybe there's housing that's coming up. So I see people being very bullish on trying to make other spots work in the country.
Good.
So that's pretty interesting. I see some people wanting to get into retail who are sick of the multifamily. Or not sick of it, but they want to
diversify.
They want 5 tenants instead of 60 units of people moving in and out. So
that's right. We talked
changing like that too.
Absolutely, we talked a little bit about that earlier, and that's why people branch out. And in all the different product types, from office to retail to triple net to multifamily, everybody has their niche about it. Some guy can stomach dealing with the 60 tenants, and then there's a guy that says, I don't want any part of that. Or he's been in multifamily for 20, 30 years, and he's thinking, okay, I'm done with dealing with people. I just want a simple triple net deal like an El Pollo Loco, where I'm getting a 5-4 cap, and I buy it cash, and I just sit there and collect the money, and I don't have to worry about somebody calling me at 11 o'clock at night. Hey, my roof is leaking. Hey, the hot water is not hot. So yeah, that's good. And I want to talk a little bit about title. I know you've done a lot of ground-up development, and we have a lot of that happening here in Santa Clarita. There's a big industrial space coming in. The Newhall Crossings is big. There's a lot of action going out here. How does that process work? How's your role in title when somebody comes to you and says, hey, Jim, I have this piece of land. I want to entitle it, or I'm ready to get entitlements. How do you fit in that equation? For the average guy out there that hears, when they buy a house, they hear title company, they hear escrow. What is your role in all that?
Good question, Jesus. A lot of time, the developer who has this land is waiting for other factors to take place, like housing, office, retail, and then they want to build their center there. So how it works they get a hold of us. We're in contact with them a lot, and they say, okay, let's sit down and start talking about the entitlement process, what it's going to take. They usually get their plans and permits, and then they seek out a construction loan. So a construction loan is the next phase after they get that going. Once they start the construction loan, they also have the plans, and that's when they come to IC and they're looking for tenants. Most of the time they have some tentative agreements with big players like the Ralphs and the Vons to pick up the big anchor spots, the Targets, and the Walmarts. So that's how it starts. It starts slowly, and everybody's trying to do their homework a little better now. They're trying to make sure that all the other facets around it are going to be in place when the shopping center is going, and that way it's a home run. So they're just trying to put a shopping center out there, and it's a tentative track map, and it's going to be a few years out. They're not going to build then. When they find out that it's been approved for 400 homes, then they're full steam ahead. But it's a process over a couple-year period due with the construction loan, and most of the time people are being a little more diligent on what they're trying to do out there.
Absolutely. Yeah, the average guy driving down the street that sees grading going on, he's thinking, "Oh, this just happened. How did they approve that?" But in reality, maybe 4 years. They've been working on this thing for 4 years, and finally they're at that point. So, yeah. But how do you work in there? How is title insurance handled? What does title insurance do?
Title insurance is the insurance policy from seller to new buyer. We insure the property free and clear of liens, judgments, any cloud that could stop the transaction. So let's say you have a little vacant piece of land to a shopping center, and you find out one of your tenants has put a lien on you, and you're trying to refinance the building or sell it. That has to be cleared up, and that's the job of the title insurance company. We notify everybody, here's what's going on. You have a tenant who's suing you, you got to clear this up, and then we get a lien release or a judgment release, and that's what we do. We clear the title so that the transfer is straightforward from one party to another.
Got it.
And then there's also a lender's policy on a sale transaction. The seller pays for an owner's policy, that's what it's called, and then the buyer will seek out a loan on a transaction. That's called a lender's policy, which ensures the lender their funds, that you are the buyer buying this property, and you are the guy with the financials who is trying to buy it.
Got it. So I can't go in there and say, "Hey, I'm Donald Trump. I'm buying this piece." You're sure against that, right?
No, that ain't going to happen. You have to have strong financials. Your lenders are being very
cautious.
They're being very, very clear on they're turning over rocks and trying to make sure that everybody's on the same page and clean.
Got it. And just so the people, my listeners out there, again, I have Jim Medina on the line of Fidelity National Title Insurance. He's the VP of Major Accounts. Highly recommend him. This guy has been amazing for me on deals that looked like they weren't going to happen. Jim has come in and saved the day many times for me. I highly recommend him. And he's calling live from ICSC over in Las Vegas, the real estate conference out there. And just to wrap up a little bit on the title, what that really also means is you buy your property. What if somebody down the road 5 years later says, "Oh, you know what? I have ownership in that property. The guy that sold it didn't have it. I am due."
That would be a claim.
That would be a
claim. That's where title insurance comes in, where you are insuring the unforeseeable.
Exactly.
So if somebody says, "We had a piece of that, here's the note that shows it, the title insurance didn't catch it," we have to pay up. That's where we pony up.
Got it.
Claims are out there too. So
have you ever seen any?
Happen.
Have you seen one in your 30 years experience?
We usually hear. I haven't been across any small ones myself, but there was one in the Midwest where they missed a pipeline, and so they were trying to build a development, and right in the middle of the property was a pipeline. So we had to redo the pipeline around the property at our cost.
Oh, wow.
So, that's millions and millions of dollars. So claims do happen. They mainly happen on the smaller sector, residential more so than commercial. Let's say a couple gets divorced and they don't clear up the title. Or forgery is a big one, too.
Oh, wow.
Somebody's forging somebody's name, and we find out it's fraud. Then we go after them, but we have to procure it. There's also lot lines. So if you're on a property and you buy that property and you get a surveyor out there, you find out, hey, the guy next to you has you're entitled to 5 more feet on his property. That title insurance is on the hook for making up the difference by square footage, or they negotiate everything out.
Got it. So that's great. It's good to know, for the guys out there. Perfect. So a little bit back to ICSC. How is technology affecting the real estate that sector, the shopping center sector? Because look, I'm the first culprit. I want something, I go first to Amazon Prime. I do my research. I see what I want. I click away on PayPal, and a couple of days, 2 days later, it shows up at my doorstep. And people are going now even with food service, ordering food. I tried that when it first came out, and it was pretty good, not too bad. But there's still something that I enjoy, going to the supermarket, walking around, seeing what they have out there. How is technology affecting the shopping center business now and the retail business?
It's a big sector, Jesus. It's disrupting it a little bit, but it's also making it better for the future. It's depending on the product type. Of course, it's a big part of the business now with the Amazons. Everybody's got to get on board. All the retailers have to have the same thing that Amazon has with their products. If they're not, they're going to be lost.
Yeah.
So we're going to see over the next 5 or 10 years who's going to survive and who's going to make it. But it's a huge part. You know it as well as I do. Everybody goes on Amazon. You get it on your front door. But there's going to be some brick and mortars that are going to not so much stay the same, but adjust. Like you said, you want to touch the fruit and the meats and and some of the clothes that you buy. You want to feel the fabric. So you're still going to have those, but you're still going to also have them online, technology-wise, as another way of buying it.
In addition to that, I can't get my haircut over the
Exactly,
online, so I have to
exactly.
go in somewhere.
You want a massage, you want your pedicure. There's still places you're going to have to go, and those are retailers. They're using part of the square footage on a shopping center.
Yeah.
So there's stuff like that. You want your nails done. Your wife wants her nails done and her hair done.
You have to get flowers. You do that also. One thing also to remind is, we've talked a lot about the big box, the big tenants, the supermarkets, etc. But one thing that also keeps in a community the economy thriving is the small business owner. The guy that owns the hair salon, or the girl that owns the hair salon, the dog groomers, the pedicure lady, the massage lady. So I love Vietnamese food. I love pho. That stuff is so good on a cold day. I want to go eat. So those places keep the local economy going also. They provide work and businesses for people. All right, Jim, we're up on the hour. It's time to go. But I wanted to thank you again. Enjoy your time out there in ICSC. Don't party too hard, because I know that's a big piece of ICSC also.
No, I got some meetings going on over there. I got to catch up with some clients and connect some dots over there. It's a lot of fun. It's very exciting, and I'm thrilled to be here and thrilled to be on your radio show. If anyone first would like to call me to discuss,
absolutely, go ahead. Give us your info.
You want to give it?
Yeah, go ahead. Give us your info, Jim.
310-466-0505. My name is Jim Medina, Fidelity National Title Commercial Division. I work locally in Los Angeles as well as national. I work for the national division. So,
fantastic.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you again for coming on. And once again, that was Jim Medina, Fidelity National Title. This is Jesus Henao of Leola Commercial here on the Real Estate Hour at KHTS AM 1220, 98.1 FM. We'll see you next week. Thank you for tuning in.
Comfort Keepers provides your loved one with loving in-home care.
Miles McNamara, certified senior advisor and owner of Comfort Keepers in-home care.
Our caregivers can help you in your own home, enhancing independence, creating safety and comfort. Our Comfort Keepers provide companionship, meal preparation, medication reminders, assistance with personal care, and even transportation to doctor's appointments. If someone you love can use a helping hand at home, visit comfortkeepers.com.
Or call 287-4200.
The issue of immigration reform is more than politics for Congressman Steve Knight. It is personal. Steve Knight doesn't see immigration as a simple issue without impact on families. He sees the faces of hardworking people yearning for a better life. He hears the DACA kids who have grown up in here. Yes, immigration reform is personal for Steve Knight. I know, because Congressman Knight is my husband. I am Lily Knight, and I am an immigrant from Chile, where I was born and raised. Now I work as a NICU nurse in a local hospital. While presidents of both parties have failed to find a solution, Steve isn't giving up. Steve Knight is working with Republicans and Democrats to fix our immigration system. He co-sponsored a bipartisan bill which would protect DACA recipients and provide the opportunity for a legal path. I am proud of my husband for standing up for DACA kids and fighting for an immigration bill.
I'm Steve Knight, and I approve this message because protecting young immigrants is the right thing to do.
The VIP Grotto experience at the Ivy Day Spa. Your experience begins with a clay facial mask. Then you are painted with a soothing aloe vera shea butter coconut oil body mask. In temperatured chambers, you relax and allow the moisturizing masks to work their magic. Finally, you rinse off in a rainforest shower and finish with a pH balancing mist. Treat yourself to this hydrating and refreshing experience at the Ivy Day Spa. Call to reserve your VIP Grotto experience at 260-1244.
What's the perfect way to end the weekend? Sunday brunch at Salt Creek Grill, of course. Wind down with delectable dishes off Salt Creek's award-winning menu and enjoy a glass of champagne, because after all, you deserve it. Make Sunday brunch at Salt Creek Grill a new tradition with your family and friends. Salt Creek Grill in Valencia on Town Center Drive in front of the movie theater. For reservations, 222-9999 or go online to saltcreekgrill.com.
Hey there, it's Tori with your hometown station weather. A mix of sun and clouds today with a high of 67. Some clouds overnight with a low of 53. A little warmer tomorrow. Also a mix of sun and clouds and a high of 71. Sign up now for Safety Town Education Summer Camp for kids. 3 camp sessions are available at Charles Helmers Elementary School in Valencia. For more information, go to hometownstation.com.
Hometown station.
KHTS AM 1220 and the new 98.1 FM.
Welcome back to the Commercial Real Estate Hour on your hometown station, 98.1 FM, 1220 AM KHTS. This is your host, Jesus Henao of Leola Commercial. So it was good, just to wrap up. It was great to have Jim Medina on and see what's going on over there at ICSC. Look them up online to get a good feel of what's going on. There's going to be a lot more real estate conferences coming up here in October at the Bonaventure Hotel. So stay tuned for that. I'll be disseminating information regarding those as we get closer. And just to wrap up a little bit what we talked about, to test your knowledge is, remember, a cap rate is the cash-on-cash return if you bought something all cash, and that's what you're looking at. A price per square foot. So things in the office sector are selling somewhere between $190 to maybe $220 a square foot. So if you buy something below those numbers, you're doing great. But know that you have to put a little work into it to affect the property. And that's the beauty of commercial real estate. Whatever shape it's in, whatever vision you have, you can make it come true. You can take a building that is old, dilapidated, and turn it around and make something very nice, creative office, or lease out the bottom to retail tenants. So that's the beauty of real estate. You can affect it, unlike the money in the bank. The money's in the bank, and the bank controls your destiny. So they do what they want with your money. So real estate is a great option. And, of course, it has the beautiful word depreciation to shelter your income and create high net worth. So if you have any questions, you can reach me at 818-570-3301, 818-570-3301. That is my office line. If you're looking to invest, if you have some money parked away, you're tired of the bank charging you fees and paying you 0%, give me a call. I'll help you get into some property, whether it's multifamily, whether it's industrial, whether it's office, or if you're looking to lease out a space, you want to open up a business, you want to open up that family restaurant, I can help you with that, and I can help you navigate through all the intricacies of dealing with the city and getting your project out, making sure you're on budget, and making sure that you can earn a good income. Once again, this is Jesus Henao, the Commercial Real Estate Hour here, your hometown station, 98.1 FM AM 1220. Signing off. We'll see you next week at 12 o'clock. Know what's going on in your town right here.